Welcome, ladies. Congratulations. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Are you good to do an opening statement and not turn it over again? Awesome. Good evening and welcome back to the NCAA Women's Final Four National Semifinal Press Conference. Joining us on the stage is the UCLA Bruins. At this time, we'll hear an opening statement from Coach Close and follow with the questions for our student athletes. Coach, if you could share a brief opening statement.
Yeah, first of all, Texas has had a spectacular year. What they put us so much pressure on us. It definitely was not a pretty game. I wanted to apologize to all the fans for the rugby match and the 23 turnovers. But I think that credit to them that they played that hard to force that kind of game. And, they have some just excellent players on their team. And so lots of respect for the year that they had and how much challenge they provided. I think that we always say the tougher, more together team wins. And I just thought we had to keep resetting, keep coming back to the right mental state of mind, to what the next right step was, because we obviously had a lot of disappointing things. But all year long, people have been talking about our offense, and we've been saying, no, it has to be our defense. It has to be our anchor. And as I think they had 21 more shots than we did on the goal, and that's how good our defense was. And we did it with toughness, togetherness, and defense, and it earned us another chance to go 1-0.
Awesome. We're going to start in the front. We'll go here, and then we'll move around.
All right. First of all, congratulations. Second, this is the first time UCLA has ever made the championship game, but there's still one more to go. Are you going to
since the NCAA 1978
NCAA?
and 79?
Okay.
So I want to say that.
Yes. Apologies. Are you going to allow yourselves to soak it in, celebrate this win, or is it on to the next?
Was this a question for all?
Yes.
We'll start with you, Lauren.
We were talking about it in the locker room. This is something that we've all dreamt of being in the position in, and we're all very, very thankful, and we expected to be here. So, tonight we'll all celebrate with our families and soak this in, and then tomorrow we got to lock in and prep for another 1-0. But, we're definitely allowed to celebrate this tonight. This is amazing, and I'm just so proud of this group.
We'll go next to Gabriela.
Yeah, to add on to that, enjoy it with each other and enjoy that we have 2 more days with each other. And I think that's what we're most excited about, just spending more time together and playing another game together. We keep saying it, job's not finished, so still have 1 more game to win.
They said it all, but we were saying in the locker room, we maxed out the amount of games we could have played together, and we're just grateful for that. So excited to have another opportunity to learn and grow from today and get another chance to play together.
Awesome. We're going to stay to the front, ladies.
Hey guys, it's Aya Abdeen for the 9450. Congrats on advancing to the NCAA National Championship game for the first time ever. How special is it to make history and program history in the storied women's basketball program? And how do you look to finish it off against South Carolina, which they have won two championships throughout the 2020s decade as well?
We want to give credit to the people that walked before us, and they have won championships. But obviously, this will be the first time competing for one in the NCAA era. So this is what we all came here to do, and so just super proud of us to get us to the chance to have another opportunity to play for a national championship.
We're going to go right here. Sir, if you could raise your hand with the glasses on. Thank you.
Mike Regalado, Bruin 24/7. As Coach said, it was quite a defensive game. It really grinded out. But I wanted to ask you about limiting Madison Booker to only 3 shots on 23 attempts.
I can say something. First of all, she's an incredible player. I was teammates with her on USA. She's a great person. She's just one of the best players in college basketball. So all the respect to her. But Gabs and all my teammates that played on her, Angela played on her, all of us got switched onto her, just did an incredible job pressing up and making those shots difficult. She can hit those, but I think we kind of pushed her out a little bit farther and made those very difficult for her. So just proud of my teammates.
Michelle, if you could raise your hand, we can get the microphone to you.
Hi, ladies. Michelle Smith from the Nine Sports. I think for any of you, when a double-digit lead whittles down to 3 with under 20 seconds to go, I just want to kind of get a sense of what you all were saying to each other at that point.
Just reset. Like, we do so much mental work, and I don't think a lot of people realize. I mean, we meet like once a week with Coach Tasha, and we're just constantly trying to improve our mental space and our mental toughness. And I think in those moments, we're just so connected that regardless of what the score is, we could have been down 10. We would have still been as connected as if we were up 10. So I'm just, really proud of this group, and I think that shows the maturity. And I know I can count on anybody on this team, regardless of what the score is. We're going to continue to show up and compete.
We're going to go to the back. It's going to be center, ladies. If you could just raise your hand, sir, so they can see you. Yep, with the microphone in your hand. Please. Thank you.
Hi, Jack Haslett with the Sporting Tribune. Gianna, sort of a bounce-back game for you, and you did have the team lead in threes. How does it feel kind of just to have this sort of game, and then were you feeling any kind of pressure going into this?
I wasn't really feeling pressure. Just my mindset going in is I wanted to be super aggressive on the defensive end. I think shots are going to go in, they're not going to go in sometimes. And so, if you play with your mind like that, basketball is not so fun. So when you can focus on the things you can control, like boxing out, getting rebounds, just playing aggressive. So I kind of just had my mind there and then let the offense come, and I knew my teammates could make plays too. So just focusing on that.
We're going to go to Howard. If you could raise your hand, please.
Howard Megdal at the Nine Sports. Congratulations to you all. Lauren, for you specifically, the block against Madison Booker, 20 seconds to go, 2 parts to this question. First, just take me through what you were seeing in that moment, how you were preparing for that moment, obviously with the game on the line. And second, I saw you then gather your teammates, talk to them in the immediate aftermath of that. What was your message? What were you telling them in that moment?
Yeah, I think, were they going down in transition? I feel like we just, did we turn over the ball again? It's fine. Anyways, but yeah, the entire game, the coaches are just continuously telling me, sprint back, sprint back, sprint back. And my job today was just to help in any way that I can inside the paint and protect the rim. And that's my job consistently throughout the season. So as soon as I saw her getting downhill, I was just like, all right, please block this. Just don't let her score. And yeah, again, G said, she's an amazing player. So, I was just in a good position, and, I trust my work and my defense. So, and then, yeah, when we connected as a team, I think it was just, again, reset. Okay, that's one play. We got to win this game. The buzzer has not gone off yet. So just continuing to stay poised and just neutral throughout the game.
We're going to go to our left.
And Bolch with the California Post. Lauren, you got, banged up a little bit there early in the second half. Hit your head, back your head pretty hard on the hardwood. How much did that hurt? And obviously you stayed in and persevered through it. But it looked like a pretty hard smack there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. It hurt pretty bad. But I feel like when you're in a situation, you're playing in the Final Four, your season's on the line, you got to get over it, and you just got to keep playing. And, yeah, there was no way I was coming out of the game. So, yeah, just sucked it up.
We'll stay to our left. We'll go Joe, then we'll go John.
Joe Pachowski, the Mighty Bruin. To the all 3 players, you guys have had a couple of games where you had some slow starts. Tonight you came out pretty hard. How important was that tonight to come out like that?
Let's start with Gianna.
It was huge. We have not loved our starts, and we're aware of that. And Coach always says, awareness precedes behavior change, I think is the saying. So just going in, knowing that, we want to see, Bruin basketball all 40 minutes. So that means we have to start when the clock hits 1 second. So we really made that a focus. And now that we've shown ourselves that we can do it, we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah, I think it started on the defensive end. I think once we get going and we have that aggressive mentality going on defense, I think it starts our offense. And, we're always going to be able to score. That's something that we are very capable of doing. But I think, when you start having that edge in your defense, it just brings so much more aggressiveness out. So I'm just really proud of the way that we came out and executed.
Yeah, I think it starts with our preparation and the way we were speaking before the game and just preparing for this game really well to come out ready to play.
John over here from She Got Game. For Lauren, this this game wasn't just about winning. You know, this entire Final Four run kind of represents, I think, what this team is really about. You know, can you kind of explain something about this team that people may have not seen? You kind of mentioned the mental toughness and things of that nature, but if you could kind of just give a perspective on what this team's truly made of.
I think like what I love most about this team and like why we got here is just like I'm always going to say it, but like the love that we have for each other truly drives us to just compete so hard. Like we want this so bad for each other, and the way we come out, the way we prep, the way we practice, the way we work on defense, the way we go for steals, like that's all because we just want to earn more days with each other, and you know, we want to make history and we want to do this for all of each other. So I mean, like I think it's just our connectivity, and that's why we've gotten this far, and I'm just extremely proud of this group. Obviously this job's not finished, but yeah, I mean, to earn a few more days, like, it's everything to us.
I'm going to shift to our left. If you could raise your hand and tan, we can get the microphone to you.
Hi, Isabel Gonzalez, CBS Sports. This is for any of you guys. I know you guys are like a very player-led type of conversation. And I was wondering who kind of like took over at halftime today, and what do you guys say after being held to just 6 points in the second quarter?
We'll have Gabriela answer that.
Yeah, I think we have really good halftime talks and communication. I think that we all come in, drink our water, take a second to ourselves, and then we start communicating. And I think depending on the game, depending on who feels like they need to speak, they can speak. Lauren will speak. I definitely spoke a lot this game. Charlize as well. Like, we all take our turns, and I think that's what makes our team so special, is that everyone can lead in their own way, and we all respond and listen to what they have to say and apply it coming out in the next half.
We're going to go to the second row. The gentleman with the glasses, if you could raise your hand. Thank you.
Yeah, Lauren, Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. Two-part question. How hard was it coping with all the turnovers that were building up for y'all? And was a big priority pushing Madison off her mid-range spot to get her shots?
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's an amazing player, and we just wanted to make it as tough as possible, and yeah, continue to push her out. And I'm just so proud of our guards, because she's not an easy person to defend, but every single person that got a chance to guard her did an amazing job. And you know, when you're so focused on like the details of your defense, like it just makes a big difference. And she really, you know, controls her team and takes over the offense. So I think that was a huge part of like why we won today. And I'm sorry, what was the other? Oh, the turnovers. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously we don't want that to happen, but it did. So, I mean, you just got to move on. You can't really, like, hang on to every single turnover that happens in the game. Like, there's going to be so many mistakes that are made. But, like, if you told me right now, like, I couldn't think of a single one, because we got the job done at the end of the day. So it doesn't really matter to me at this point. But we will do better next game. We won't let that.
Our next question comes from back center.
Lauren Reese for Hoops HQ and Seton Hall. Congratulations, you guys. Just want to talk a little bit more about the question that was asked earlier about halftime. Stylistically and playing style-wise, what were some of the adjustments you knew you had to make after facing Texas in those first two quarters, like when it comes to formations, shot taking, shot decision making? What were some of those tangibles you knew you had to address?
I mean, yeah, getting the ball inside. I think that was our biggest message. Just not letting their pressure on the perimeter dictate how we run our offense, and just being a lot more aggressive. Like, you know, they're an amazing defensive team, but, you know, we can't let that change the way we want to play and how we execute. So.
We're going to take our next question. Sydney, if you can raise your hand and get the microphone to you.
Hi, guys. Congratulations. Sydney Henderson, USA Today Sports. You remained in the Pacific time zone the entire duration of the tournament for Cori Close at the first time in her entire career. Did you feel like you had almost like a home advantage in this, and how did that being in the same routine affect you guys?
I can start. Being from, you know, California and West Coast, I'm super grateful that, you know, the regionals were in Sacramento and people could make the drive up, and now in being in Arizona, people can make the drive over here. And so we're really thankful that we're on the West Coast. I mean, we do a lot of traveling during the regular season in the Big Ten, and it can be tough at times, but to be on the West Coast really means a lot, especially to me and all of our teammates, just because we have so much family that can make it over here and a lot of fans that can make the drive. And so we just appreciate everyone that came out to support us.
You can raise your hand in the white shirt. We'll get the microphone over to you.
Hi, guys. Congratulations. Aiden O'Neill, Blaze Radio. This is for any of the players, but can you speak on Lauren's impact on both ends of the floor? I feel like that's something that can't be overlooked. Already the defense has been mentioned, but on offense too, 16 points on 7 of 10 shooting, and all season long she's been that steady force.
Yeah, I mean, like, we could sit here all day and talk about Lauren's impact, but I'll keep it short. No, like, just the way she, like, the amount she draws in on offense helps us all their guards, because you can go one-on-one, but I don't know. That's a choice if you want to make. And then if they double, then she'll kick it out because she's a great passer. And then on defense, I think she just is a threat inside. Like, when people get down there, I know at least in practice when I get down there and Lauren's there, I don't want to shoot layups. So I think, like, that's just huge, is like just her being there is a factor and makes you think about it. But another thing that I think maybe gets overlooked because it's not talked about, but Lauren's leadership is huge for us. She's willing to say hard things to us, and in player-led teams, you need that. So Lauren's impact is huge on us.
Take our next question.
Hi, my name is Jose from the Pinal Center Sports. I have a question for Lauren. Your team lost in the Final Four against. Your team was defeated. Wait, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Your team lost in the Final Four to UConn last year. Your team defeated Texas tonight and will play against South Carolina in the national championships this Sunday. How did the loss of last year's semifinal motivate your team this year? And what does it feel like to be playing in the title game?
Yeah, I think, last year we took that loss really hard, and I think it made us think a lot about, what we could have done better, not just, in practice, but like as a team, leadership, being able to have tough conversations. And I'm just really proud of the growth and the way that we've held such a high standard consistently this year. Coach Cori's done a really good job throughout the season, just continuing to hold us to a high standard every day and not letting up on that. And I think, the way we've competed every single day in practice has gotten us to where we want to be today. But yeah, I think, for us leaders, we just wanted to make sure that we do a good job of representing how we want this season to go. And yeah, I think it was just the standard that was held. Yeah.
We'll take our final question for the student athletes.
Hey guys, congrats. Miriam Swanson, LA Times. Gabriela, question for you. When you were a freshman, you guys started the season 7-0. Then you went and played South Carolina and played them pretty well. And I remember talking to Kiki and your coach, and you guys were like, South Carolina's a barometer for us, and that's where we want to be. What do you remember about that time in your career and that game, and what would that Gabs think of you right now?
Yeah, it's kind of full circle playing South Carolina in the national championship game. I remember my freshman year going to South Carolina and playing them. Tough matchup, and their fans, it was like a lot of people, and being a freshman, I was just like, Aaliyah Boston was there, and yeah, crazy. And then we played them again right in the Sweet 16, and so we've seen them a couple times, and so just super excited to go up against them this time, and obviously they played us at home. So we've matched up against them quite a lot, but I'm just so proud of our team. And again, we keep saying it, but I think it's just so true to what we believe, is just having more days with each other and another day to prepare and another day to play a game that we all love, and we love doing it together.
Ladies, I want to thank you for your time and best of luck on Sunday. UCLA's locker room will be open until 9:44 p.m. We will now turn over for questions for Coach. We'll start in the back and then work our way up.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Ann Myers-Drysdale was in the crowd, and she was on that UCLA team back in 1978.
As well as Denise Curry, as well as Debbie Willie Holiday. There were several people in the stands from that team. So go ahead.
Yeah, so with that record that you're on now with 29 wins, how significant is it to do this in front of them and make history again, possibly against South Carolina.
Yeah, I love what Gab said, that we just always want to give them their due because they set a standard that was so high. It's not their fault that it was AIAW at that time. They won a national championship. They went to back-to-back Final Fours, and we always want to acknowledge that. But for me, since the day I got there, they've been season ticket holders. I get texts from them all the time. There's nobody that supports the mission of our program, not just the growth of what you see on the court, but we do things a little differently, and they have been behind me every step of the way. And so it is really meaningful to have so many people from that particular team that set such an important course for UCLA women's basketball to be so supportive of our women. And they feel that. And, I'm very humbled and grateful for their investment, engagement, and support.
We're going to stay to the front. We'll go Doug.
Hey, Coach. Doug Feinberg, the AP. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
What does it mean to you to get to this national championship game for the first time in the NCAA for UCLA? And
Yeah.
I know you've had plenty of time to think about it, but playing South Carolina on Sunday and what that matchup will be.
Well, we've played each other every year, I think, over the past several years. And Dawn is, does such a great job. I mean, she's a standard bearer in our sport. And so, and I'm thankful for, what they have done, not just for South Carolina, but for the game. But we also are an incredibly competitive, confident group. And so, and I'm sure they are as well. But all you can ask for is an opportunity to try to play your best basketball for a national championship. And so really excited about that opportunity. In terms of what it means to me, it's just everything to listen to them. It's just everything for me to be a fly on the wall and to watch incredible young women chase their dreams, grow together, sacrifice, grow in character, grow in competency, grow in mastering their craft. And I really, it's just such a joy to serve their growth process. And I just feel humbled to be a part.
We'll stay to our left. Howard.
Howard Magdal, the 9 Sports. Cori, congratulations.
Thank you.
Specifically about Lauren, in a game where mistakes and missed shots were the norm, to have a performance like that where she missed 3 shots all night. She had 1 turnover all night. Just, what is it about her that allows her to be that player, the player who does not make mistakes in that moment? And then I just would love your thoughts as that Madison Booker was moving toward the rim and she's blocking that shot.
Well, I think she just, her ability on defense. The people have asked me, do you think she's mobile enough? I'm like, well, question answered. I mean, just watch her move her feet. Watch her when we can switch with her. When that play happened, I really have so much confidence, that every time she is in a matchup, she's going to find a way to alter, block, scare somebody from doing that. I just think she's spectacular. And, the biggest compliment you can give Lauren was the way Texas felt like they had to play our guards, because that was the only way that we weren't going to be able to get inside touches, not just for Lauren, but for Angela too, for Sienna when she came in. I mean, we really want to play through the paint and play from the inside out. And the biggest compliment you can give Lauren is how Texas had to play their guards to limit her touches.
We'll stay to our left. You can raise your hand, sir. Right. Yep.
Cori, Jeff Metcalf, Sports 360 AZ. You knew of Kneepkens and Charlize both from the Pac-12 days. You knew what you were getting with them, but how has their game evolved and developed at UCLA?
Well, I think, I remember my conversation with Gianna when she entered the portal, and one of the things she talked about is that she wanted to join a group of women that she was challenged. She wasn't the hardest worker on the team, yet she wasn't the only one being in the gym before and after. I mean, she is a tireless worker. And I told her, if you come to UCLA, you will be one of 12 that work that way. And she almost didn't believe me. And then I remember, and into the summer, came to me and was like, wow, you're not kidding. Like, every day someone else is beating me to the gym, and I don't think that's ever happened to her before. And so I think that we knew, and Charlize was one of my favorite guards. I mean, she actually beat us in the championship game of the Pac-12 tournament one year. I mean, she's just spectacular. She is one of the best processing point guards I've been around, and her leadership is unmatched. She just has done such a great job of having a pulse of the team. Everybody can connect with Charlize. And so it's what she's done for us from a leadership perspective, and then how she processes the game with the ball in her hands, but maybe even more away from the ball, both defensively and offensively. She just has such a high basketball IQ. It was really about the perfect fit to increase the productivity and efficiency of our collective puzzle. And they have exceeded my expectations in terms of what we were getting, and I couldn't be more thankful and thrilled to have them both.
Andrea, if you can raise your hand, we can get the microphone to you.
Andrea Adelson with ESPN. Cori, you mentioned people talk about your offense, but you knew it was going to have to start on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Did you expect it to be this type of defensive battle? But when it is, what do you have to do in terms of adjustments and knowing what it's going to be like for the flow of the game?
Well, I mean, there wasn't any flow of the game. I mean, it just was it was sort of a hard game to coach because I didn't feel like you could, move the pieces around or go, hey, this is a matchup we can really take advantage of. It just was, could we get enough passes and could we play through the middle of the floor to get some sort of clean catch? But quite frankly, we didn't play to our best offensively. And I remember after the Iowa game, when we won the Big Ten championship tournament, I told our team that you cannot fall in love with pretty offense and think that it's going to be like this every game. And I told them there's going to be a game in the NCAA tournament that you're going to have to just grind it out and do it with your defense. So enjoy this game, but don't hang your hat on that end of the floor. And this was the game. We needed that. And, I want to grow the game so bad. I really I felt guilty walking off the floor because it was not pretty in any way, shape, or form. But, the reality is, too, that it's really all about toughness at this point and finding a way to make a winning play, even if it's a winning play you wouldn't have predicted or chosen.
We're going to stay to our right. If you can raise your hand right here, yep, we can get that to you.
Hey, Coach. Brendan Potts, World Exposure Report. The way that you've built this program and in the manner that you have built this program has always been consistent with your vision over the years that you've been at UCLA. With that in mind, how does it feel to know that you've been building up to this moment and you get to play you get to coach in the last women's college basketball game this season?
Yeah, it's spectacular. I remember that when I was being mentored by Coach John Wooden, one of the things he gave me was a sense that you could compete at the highest levels, you could master your craft, and you could do it in a transformational, character-building way. And I was almost losing hope that was possible. And then Coach Wooden was like, no, it can be done, and you have to value certain things. And the biggest way I can pay forward what he invested in me is to prove to other people, and maybe I could encourage one other coach that you can do it in an uncommon, transformational way that coaches people's hearts first and coaches from the inside out. And that doesn't make you less competitive. You see it. Their love for each other and their connectivity of how they've grown as young women is what makes them fight so hard to compete for another day. And I really just want to maybe encourage a couple other coaches that you can do it that way. And we don't have to say, it's transfer portal, NIL, we can't do it that way. No, you can. You have to stay principled centered. And that's the way I hope, humbly, to pay it forward what Coach Wooden gave the example to me.
I want to stay to our right. If you could raise your hand, we can get the microphone to you.
Tyler Vitale, the Daily Texan. Coach, Texas led for all of 54 seconds today, but they cut the deficit to one possession in the second, third, and fourth quarter. What did it take from a coaching perspective or from a player perspective for your team to maintain that lead? And also, what did it show you about Texas in the game at hand that they kept making those runs?
Well, Texas is an elite program. I mean, what does Coach Vic Schaefer say? Texas tough. I mean, they are a tough basketball team. I got to give them their flowers in that. So we never thought they were going to go away. And I think basketball is a game of runs. Things happen. Especially with a team that plays that aggressively on the defensive end, and they hope to just wear you down. And I do think a big piece of it was free throws. When we did get to the free throw line, I think we were 11 for 12. Those kinds of persevering plays, when they are going to play that aggressive and you do get a chance to get to the free throw line, you better knock it down. But all the credit to them. They were constantly aggressive. They were relentless. I think they always believed they'd make a run. We have a lot of respect for who they are. They've earned that in the landscape. And, but I did think we were really connected, and we really believed in our anchor, and we just kept asking ourselves, what's our next right step?
Take our last question from Michael up in the front.
Coach Michael Carrasino, Sideline Sports. Congratulations on the win. Talking about that, like you said, and the players mentioned, like the mental toughness and the buildup of the team. You hold them to 6 points in the first. They obviously hold you to 6 points in the second. But and controlling defense, I've always heard your coaches say that offense is going to hell. You can always control the defense.
And it was right there.
But in the third quarter, I mean, I know both teams scored 11 points. But is it something? I mean, I know you said everybody talks at halftime, but is it just seeing that first shot go in? I know you said it was choppy. You couldn't really get matchups. But is it so much as just kind of seeing the first shot go in just to keep the offense going?
Yeah, I think it was not even. It was getting a quality shot. It wasn't really whether you were making it. We were having trouble earning quality shots. And, there just was no flow in that. I think we maybe I was talking to, I have great coaching staff, and each staff member who has the scout, today it was Tony Noonan. And I just was like, there's only 3 possessions where I thought we got in rhythm, clean shots, that teamwork kind of rhythm. And, that was the hard part, is that we just, it wasn't a matter of making shots. It was about earning quality teamwork shots. And, we just really struggled with that. Their pressure, really got the best of us in that way. And so, I think every game you have to go back and go, okay, what did that one teach us? What adjustments do we need to make? I mean, if I'm, South Carolina, I would imagine that we're going to see a lot of pressure. And so, how do we, in a quick turnaround, really attack this film and have a growth mindset and see if we can come back and earn that? I just didn't think it was seeing the ball go in. It was about what we could earn together. And I did see it in their eyes when they could get a clean look together that they created out of connective teamwork. It was sort of like, okay, we can do this, I thought it was really key down the stretch. I thought in the fourth quarter we got Lauren the most amount of touches, and I thought that was the difference of us coming out on top, and was getting high percentage shots.
Coach, I want to thank you for your time this evening, and best of luck on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. Really appreciate your coverage of our sport.